It's time for Dodger Baseball. Live from Dodger Stadium, Sportsnet LA presents the Dodgers as they take on the New York Mets. Hi, everybody, and a very pleasant Friday evening to you, wherever you may be. Welcome to Dodger Stadium, Game 1 of the three-game series with the New York Mets. Dodgers have won 2 of the 3 played back in New York, and over the last 13 meetings, the Dodgers have gone 11-2. However, for both clubs tonight, neither team is scoring a lot of runs. The Mets have only scored 102 runs since the All-Star break. Dodgers not much better, 120. The Mets are 14 games behind Washington. Dodgers are 3.5 games in front of the Giants, and the Giants are playing Washington starting tonight. On the mound for the Dodgers, Dan Haren, 10-10, but it also marks 10 straight years he's won in double figures. On the mound for the New York Mets, a fellow who was certainly born to be a Met. He was born the night that the New York Mets beat the Boston Red Sox to win the 1986 World Championship. Jonathan Neese is his name. He is 7-8. He is coming off a victory against the Cubs. The Dodgers only one game above 500 at home and a marked difference against left-handers. 7-8 here, 13-3 on the road. So those are the numbers. We'll have a ball game and a whole lot more coming up right after this.
But the goal is certainly the same. Get another win here at Dodger Stadium. Game 1 of a 3-game set between the Mets and the Dodgers as fans make their way in. Hello, everybody, and welcome inside Dodger Stadium. I'm Alana Rizzo. I want to talk a little bit more about Yasiel Puig, who has seemed to miss a step at the plate as far as hitting for average and certainly hitting for power. Just 13 home runs so far in the 2014 season. A bit inconsistent on the average, a bit hot and cold, if you will. You can see where he started in March and April, really heated up in the month of May, almost a 400 average. Declined a bit in June, went back up in July, and August just a 260 average. His last home run coming on July 31st against Atlanta. Talked to Mark McGuire. He said he's certainly an aggressive hitter, but he's being a bit too aggressive outside the zone. He wants him to make sure that he's swinging at strikes and swinging at pitches that are in his zone. Wants him to be a bit more patient at the plate. After the break, of course, it is Vince Scully on the call for Game 1. We'll be right back.
May be. Welcome to Dodger Stadium. Another glorious summer's evening and the prospects of a good ball game as the Dodgers will take on the New York Mets. The Dodgers have beaten the Mets 2 out of 3 going back to New York, and going back to 2012 the Dodgers have won 11 of 13. However, the Mets come in 4th place, trailing Washington. And talking about Washington, the Giants are hammering them right now 10-2 in the top of the 9th inning. So Washington will have a 10-game winning streak destroyed tonight, and the Giants will put a little extra pressure on the Dodgers as the Dodger lead is 3.5, but Terry Collins would like to make that less than that with a victory tonight. Terry Collins, formerly in the Dodger organization, will take a look at his lineup. And the Mets go this way tonight, starting out with Curtis Gunderson in right field, Daniel Murphy at second, David Wright, who's been Mr. Right against the Dodgers, a career .374 batting average, Lucas Duda, the first baseman, Travis d'Arnaud, the catcher, Matt Dendecker in left field, Juan Lagares in center field, Wilmer Flores, the shortstop, and Jonathan Neese, the left-hander, on the mound. On the mound for the Dodgers, Dan Herron with a record of 10-10. With those 10 victories, he has won in double figures for 10 years. So he has been Mr. Reliable. He struggled of late after a great start. He is 1-0 against the Mets, 3-3 lifetime. When he beat the New York Mets, it was last year, and he was a member of the Washington Nationals. So here come the Mets. Interesting, both the Mets and the Dodgers hit better on the road. The Mets are about 20 points higher on the road than at home, and the same thing for the Dodgers. One other thing, each team struggling to score runs. since the All-Star break, the Mets have scored only 102 runs. They are last, but the Dodgers are only a little bit better. They've scored 120. And as we mentioned in the opener, as the Dodgers have only one left-hand hitter in the lineup, that's Adrian Gonzalez. For some reason, the Dodgers are 7-8 under 500 against left-hand starters at home. You take them out on the road, and the Dodgers devour left-handers. They're 13-3. So we'll keep an eye, see if the Giants knock off a half a game for the moment. And Dan Harrenready makes his first pitch to Curtis Gunderson, and that's off the plate, ball one. Gunderson has 6 home runs that he hit in the first inning, so you have to be very careful with him. The left-hand hitter takes low, and a 2-ball, no strike count. Gunderson is not hitting much as he checks in batting .222, but he does have 15 home runs, 48 runs batted in, and he lifts one to deep right field. He might do it again. It is gone. His 7th home run hit in the first inning. So that certainly followed the script. And for Dan Haren, of course, it is a tired old script. That's the 25th home run that Haren has allowed, and we're only in the first inning and 1 batter deep. So Gunderson hits his 16th, but more remarkably, 7 of them in the first inning. So Granderson hits it out, and we have a 1-0 lead in favor of the Mets here in the first inning. So Curtis homers, and now here comes Daniel Murphy. And talking about hitting on the road, Murphy, a left-hand batter, takes ball one. Buster Posey leads the league in hitting on the road at .335. Murphy is third at .327. So that's a great way to start. So Granderson hits the home run. He's back into the dugout, and it's 1-0 New York before the folks have taken all their seats. Harrenready, and the 2-0 pitch on the way is swung on and popped up down the line. Trio of Dodgers take a look, but it's Van Slyke there to make the catch. So Daniel Murphy flies to left, 1 away, and David Wright will be coming up. Let's take a look at the Dodgers defensively. It's Adrian Gonzalez, and then Gordon, Arrubarena, and Turner, Van Slyke, Puig, and Kemp. A.J. Ellis behind the plate. Dan Haren now getting ready to pitch to David Wright. Long, giving the Dodgers a bad time. This year struggling a bit. He has 8 home runs, 56 runs batted in. However, he's grounded into 19 double plays this year, and he takes low, ball one. 1-0. He's another fellow who has done damage in the first inning. He's got 15 RBIs in the first inning this year. He hesitates, takes a breaking ball down and away. 2 balls and no strikes. You want to get a man home from third, Wright's the man. He has scored 22 runners from third this year. He promptly lifts one to left. It's playable. Van Slyke waits and makes the catch. So home run by Granderson, followed by the fly ball by Murphy and Wright. And with 2 down, the batter will be Lucas Duda. So with Estrada has 28 home runs, and certainly Dan Haren doesn't want to catch him, but he's given up 25 now. And here's Lucas Duda. They have been trying very hard to have Duda, who's got a lot of power, but they want him to be more aggressive. Look out for the first pitch. This time he chakes for a strike. For 2 years, he would take the first pitch, and he was hitting in the 270s. This year, he's been aggressively going after the first pitch and hitting 370. Another left-hand batter, and he lifts a fly ball. That's playable. Puig is at the other end of it, and that'll be that. The fly ball that wasn't caught, the one hit by Granderson into the bullpen, followed by 3 fly ball outs. And at the end of half an inning, Jonathan Neese going to work, leading 1-0. The Dodgers down 1-0. Kind of a shock as we await Mattingly's lineup, because last night we had to wait till the 7th inning before a run was on the board put up by the Padres, and then we had to wait till the bottom of the 8th before the Dodgers got 2. It'll be Gordon, Puig, and Gonzalez, Kemp, Van Slyke, and then last night's hero Turner, Ellis, Arrubarena, and Herron finishing up the lineup. So D. Gordon will start it off against Jonathan Nice. Nice, with a record of 7-8, was on the DL since coming off the DL, 2-4, 7-8 lifetime. Flips one in there nicely for a strike, and the count 0-1. D. Gordon struggling at the plate, average now at 286, 2 home runs, 26 runs batted in, takes off the plate. There is so much to being a big league hitter, and where Gordon positions his hands has had a lot to do with his success and his struggles. He is trying not to keep his hands as high as he suddenly slipped into that style, and he paid the price. So after looking at video, as they always do, working with the coaches, he's trying to keep the hands down a little bit as opposed to getting them up high. Swings, doesn't make the contact, and the count 2-2. Dodgers have only scored 120 runs since the All-Star break. The Mets less than that, 102. The 2-2 pitch on the way, poked foul off to the left, out of play. Gordon, a late swing to protect what might have been on the outside corner. For Jonathan Nice, a good left-hander, he's allowed 3 runs or less in 25 of his last 27 starts going back to September of last year. He misses 3-2 the count. Jonathan is from Defiance, Ohio. That might be familiar to Dodger fans. That was the home of Chad Billingsley. He was born in Lima, Ohio, and went to Defiance High School like Chad. Fastball is fouled off. Nice will be 28 years old the end of October, working on D. Gordon. And we mentioned at the opener, Jonathan was born the night the Mets won the 1986 World Series. Pitch swung on and fouled. They beat the Red Sox October the 27th, and that was the night they won. That was the night that Jonathan arrived in the world. He is basically a contact hitter. 84% of his pitches the batter has hit, as does Gordon. Ground ball to short. Flores a nice pick and throw, and Gordon is retired. And just like that, we have one away. Take a look at the Mets defensively. They shape up this way. Lucas Duda at first base, Daniel Murphy at second, Wilmer Flores at short, David Wright at third, Matt Dendecker in left field, Juan Lagares in center, and Curtis Grundson with the out there in right. Travis d'Arnaud is behind the plate, and here is Yasiel Puig. Puig, as he checks in, struggling a bit, hitting .309. Swings a little nubber back to the box, and he says thank you very much and throws him out. So that's one of the things that's happened suddenly to Puig, and all young hitters do that. You start to struggle. He hasn't hit a home run in over a month, so now he's over anxious and swings at the pitcher's pitch and hits back to the box. So Mark McGwire trying to study him and help him out. But of course, if you don't have the patience up there at the plate, pretty hard to learn. So 2 down, and Adrian Gonzalez coming up. You know, last night was a magnificent ball game. We told you about how late the scoring was. There were 5 shutouts in the majors yesterday. That's the most since there was 8 or fewer back in 1966. So the pitching seems to be emerging more and more. Could also be the regular players are a little tired. Gonzalez takes a strike, and they count 1-1. Hitting .270. Adrian, 17 home runs, 83 runs batted in. Nice comes back with a slow curve fouled away. Jonathan, by the way, has won 50 games in his young career. So he joins distinguished names for left-handers with the Mets: Jerry Koosman, Sid Fernandez, Al Leiter, John Matlack, Tommy Glavine, Bobby Ojeda, and Jonathan Neese, who slips in strike 3 called to Gonzalez, and the Dodgers certainly tiptoe through the first inning. And at the end of 1, the Mets won and the Dodgers nothing. By Curtis Granderson, put them out in front. Now the Mets will send up Travis d'Arnaud, Matt Den Decker, and Juan Lagares, and the first pitch low, ball 1. Travis d'Arnaud had trouble with the name on the back of his jersey. He was very uncomfortable because they originally had a small D for the first part. The rest of it ARNAUD, but he finally decided, okay, if that's what you want. So he has that little D. Later on, you'll get an idea of that with another player. And meanwhile, he promptly bangs one into center, little D or capital D. So immediately, Aaron pitching out of a stretch. Second inning, 1-0 New York. Matt Den Decker coming up. And Den Decker was another fella whose name could have been spelt with a low D. And they actually did, and he was pretty uncomfortable with it, but finally he agreed. Well, all right, if that's what you want. So it's kind of a different way to look at the Mets uniforms. The lower D followed by the capital D, and they're leading 1-0. So d'Arnaud off the bag at first, and the pitch to Den Decker in for a strike. The Mets draw a lot of walks. They can load the bases. They sacrifice well. They are basically a left-handed hitting club. Milwaukee, when they were here, they were certainly a right-hand hitting club. Breaking ball in the dirt, and they count 1 ball and 1 strike. Den Decker, a quick look over at third to Tim Tuffle, who's coaching there. Tommy Goodwin coaching at first, at one time played for the Dodgers. 1 ball and 1 strike. Matt, left-hand hitter, waiting, takes a breaking ball low. So Aaron behind now, gave up the home run, then got 3 fly balls. Because if you're going to pitch at Dodger Stadium, you might get away being a fly ball pitcher, but only for so long. The 2-1 pitch is swung on and fouled off. Den Decker is from Fort Lauderdale. Went to the University of Florida. He was a 5th-round pick. Just turned 27. 6'1", 205-pounder. He was originally selected by the Pirates, but he went to college instead. 2-2 pitch on the way. Aaron at the belt, comes to his hitter low and away. Ball 3, 3-2. Den Decker suffered a minor league nightmare during Buffalo's 7-hour bus trip to Boston to play in Pawtucket. The Bison bus stopped at a rest area, but was unable to get some food. And when they left Den Decker in the men's room. A little pop fly. Turner goes out, makes the catch, throws to first, and doubles up d'Arnaud. Justin Turner. A heads-up play on a pop fly into shallow left. Terry Collins, no doubt, shocked over the fact d'Arnaud went that far off the bag on a fly ball. However, from where he stood at first, maybe he thought it was going to pop in. So Turner alertly fires over to first, and d'Arnaud must have been close to Pasadena by the time Turner got the ball back, and he's easily doubled up. So Herron gets a break. 6-3 double play, and the batter now is Juan Lagares. 2 outs, second inning, 1-0 New York. Lagares, right-hand batter, rarity, and he bangs one up the middle, but Gordon over to his right will throw him out. So a leadoff single, but that's all. No runs, 1 hit, nobody left. Heads up play by Justin Turner, and we're going to the bottom of the second. 1-0 New York. Evening, 73 degrees, not a breeze, just very comfortable. Matt Kemp will be leading off in the bottom of the second inning, and he's really done a number on the Mets. Derek Jeter hitting .364 against his New York club, but Matt Kemp is right behind Omar Infante at .348. So we'll see what he does now against Jonathan Nice, who flips a fastball in there for a strike, and the count 0-1. Matt Kemp hitting .308 against Nice. He's 4 for 13, batting .274 for the year, and fouls it back. No balls and 2 strikes the count. For the New York Mets, the starting pitching is better than average. They've had 78 quality starts. The Dodgers have had 81. Not much to choose from there. Jonathan looks over the fingertips of his glove. Now to the windup. Changeup is hit to third. Right in the hands of David Wright, who slings it over to first, and that will do it for Matt Kemp. So 1 out, second inning.
Number 33, Scott Van Slyke.
Scott Van Slyke coming up. Not only is the starting pitching very good, the Mets have a habit of winning games after a loss. They've come up with 34 victories following a loss, so they haven't gone into any real nosedive. The bullpen has done very well in holding back runners from scoring. The pitch to Scott Van Slyke is low, ball 1. The Mets turn a lot of double plays, and they have cut down stolen bases against them. But they have their problems. 1-0 pitch, sound like a cracked bat, ground ball to short, and that will do it quickly for Van Slyke. So 5 in a row retired by Jonathan Nice, and last night's hero Justin Turner coming up with a little 5-game hitting streak. Talking about the Mets, what they don't do well, they lack home run power. They don't drive in a lot of runs. Their bench for Terry Collins is not productive. He's trying to get his hitters to be more aggressive because they take called third strikes 12% higher than the average, and they haven't hit well at all in August. So we will see what that means up against the Dodgers, as Nice, who works from the third base side of the rubber, makes his first pitch, and it's in for a strike to Justin Turner. Justin Turner, of course, had played with the New York Mets. They did not tend him a contract at the end of last year. Dodgers picked him up, and he has been a huge size and certainly a very valuable player. Turner hitting .314, 4 home runs, 29 RBIs, won the game for Clayton Kershaw last night, and takes low, ball 2. Kershaw right on the edge of losing 1-0, and Turner saved his bacon with the 8th inning home run with a man aboard. 2-1 pitch, and that's low. 3-1 for the Justin Turner marching inside of Society. You see the curveball, and he hit it into the pavilion in left field, and that was enough to give the Dodgers a 2-1 win. Takes a big rip at a fastball, and the count 3-2. Turner, when he was with the Mets last year, hit .280. He had 2 home runs, 16 runs batted in, and he appeared in 88 games. Now the 3-2 pitch coming up. Nice ready, flips it in, ground ball back to first. Nice pick there by Duda, and that will be that. So Nice retires 6 in a row, and at the end of 2, thanks to Granderson's home run, the Mets lead 1-0. High ball there. Baseball's answer to Penrod and Sam. 1-0 Mets, top of the 3rd inning. Don't forget Sunday, Dodgers Mets, and the first 40,000 fans in attendance take home a Matt Kemp figurine presented by New Era. For tickets and more information, visit Dodgers.com/promotions. Wilmer Flores will start it off. Right-hand hitting shortstop, and he has a look at the first pitch for a strike, and the count 0-1. The Mets struggling for scoring runs. Flores hitting .229, and he takes low. Wilmer, 1 home run, 14 runs batted in. However, that one home run was a big one. It was a grand slam, and he drove in 6 runs in June in a game in Philadelphia. He holds up on a pitch and gets away with it, and a 2-ball 1-strike count. Flores, recalled from Las Vegas, the end of July. He's been up and down 3 times. 2-1 pitch to Wilmer, chases it, comes up empty, and the count 2-2. 1-0 in favor of New York. No sooner did we mention the fact that Curtis Granderson had 6 leadoff home runs. He hit number 7 in the first inning, and that's old hat to him as Flores strikes out. Granderson in his career has 28 leadoff home runs. Though Mr. Positive coming out on deck now as Jonathan Neese checks in at the plate. For Herron, he picks up his first strikeout. Jonathan Neese, left-hand batter, not much, 2 hits and 40 at-bats, and takes a strike. 0-1 the count. Dodgers have a better staff of hitting pitchers. Not that you really run into a lot of them, but the Mets have really struggled, hitting less than 100 collectively. 1-1 pitch, that's a strike. 1-2. Of course, with Kershaw and Greinke, that will top some of the pitchers that the New York Mets will feature. 1-2 pitch on the way is taken off the plate. In looking at the Mets, their number 1 hitter, we'll see him tomorrow. That's Jake DeGrom. The 2-2 pitch on the way, swung on and fouled away. So DeGrom, who was on the DL, just came off, and Dodgers will see him tomorrow. Another fella with the letter D before his game. He's from De Leon Springs, so the DE comes naturally for DeGrom. Meanwhile, Neese is caught looking, and we have 2 strikeouts here in the 3rd inning. The Mets leading 1-0, and the man who put them out in front coming up, Curtis Granderson. So Granderson checking in out of the University of Illinois in Chicago, and takes a strike. 0-1. Curtis spent about 5 years up and down with the Tigers, and then had steady employment with the Yankees from 2010 through 13. Had a couple of big years with the Pinstripers. He had 41 home runs and 119 runs batted in. That would be his best. Then he came right back with 43 home runs, but 106 RBIs. He's a family of educators. His mom is a high school chemistry teacher, and he slices one foul out of play. His mom went to school at night to get her master's in chemistry, and his father just retired. He was an elementary school phys ed teacher. His sister is an English professor. The 2-2 pitch, strike 3 called. So with all of his problems, Dan Herron winds up striking out the side. So the Mets go down, and at the end of 2.5 innings, 1-0 New York. 2-0 in favor of the New York Mets. Curtis Granderson's home run leading off the game put the Dodgers in the hole immediately. Now they try to dig out A.J. Ellis, Arisbel Arubarena, and then Dan Haren. A.J. struggling at 180, 1 home run, 13 runs batted in. Jonathan Nice looks in, left-handed, doesn't waste any time, and delivers low, ball 1, 1-0. Ellis trying to get something started. Arubarena on deck. The next one outside, ball 2, 2-0. Jonathan Nice is a big man, 6'4", 215 pounds. The fellow who got him to become a Met was Gary Carter, the late wonderful catcher. The 2-0 pitch in for a strike. Gary, of course, played for New York. He played for Montreal, and he also played for the Dodgers. And he called Jonathan and kind of said, you ought to sign with the Mets, and he did. 2-1 pitch is low, ball 3, 3-1. Nice passed up a scholarship to the University of Cincinnati to sign with New York. His next pitch is high, so Ellis draws a walk, and the Dodgers get their first base runner on a base on ball after 6 in a row were retired. Arisbel Arubarena, the shortstop, coming up, hitting .273. Ellis at first, nobody out, and Haren, pretty good hitter for a pitcher, on deck. Nice out of a stretch, looks at first, comes to the young shortstop and gets a strike, and the count 0-1. 1-0 New York. The beginning of what should be a tough 3-game series. Granderson got things started with the home run. Ground foul outside of first down the line. 0-2 the count to Arubarena. A Cuban who has the nickname Cricket. By the way, did you get the news about the Boston Red Sox? They just paid a little more than $72 million for a Cuban player who hasn't played organized ball in over a year. Line drive, single to left by Arubarena. Stopping at second is Ellis. So the Dodgers are in business. First and second, nobody out, and Dan Haren coming up. Haren has 4 runs batted in. He's not a bad hitter, but you figure the Dodgers will ask him to sacrifice. He has 2 bunts. So Dan coming up, and Nice in a little trouble. Jonathan plants the left foot on the rubber, looks in to get a sign from Darno. Now the pitch, Haren bunts, got it down. Nice left-handed, gets it to third for 1. They throw to first, and they get a double play. So Dan Haren asked to sacrifice, bunts into a double play, and of course Nice, left-handed, could field it and without breaking his motion just throw the ball over to David Wright. That was easy, and then Wright gunned it across the diamond in time to nail Dan Haren. So with all of that going on, Ellis is wiped out. Arubarena is now at second with 2 out, and the batter D. Gordon. So 1-5-3. Ellis forced at third, and now here is Gordon trying to pick up Arubarena. 1-0 New York. Nice ready and delivers. Big swing and a miss, and they count 0-1. Gordon grounded to short in the first inning, 0 for 1. Now D back up. He's hitting .293 against left-hand pitching. Grounds one inside third, down the line. So here comes Arubarena. He will score. Gordon makes a big turn and then gets back to first, and the game is tied at 1. So D. Gordon grounds one inside third. David Wright, with a left-hand batter up, was far from the bag, never had a chance. And Gordon comes up with a clutch base hit. Wright tried to get to it, but he was 2 feet shy at least. And scoring, Arubarena to even it up. Now, of course, we'll see the battle within the war. D. Gordon and a left-hand pitcher looking over at him. And the batter, Yasiel Puig. Puig, first ball swinging, tap back to the box. Nice delivers, and the fastball is high. 1 ball and no strikes to Yasiel. Dodgers 1, Mets 1, bottom of the 3rd. Nice appears to always be ready to pitch. He comes right back, and that's hit in the air to center. Coming in and over to pick it off is Juan Lagares, and that will do it for Puig. Dodgers get a run, but they leave Gordon. And at the end of 3, we have a 1-1 tie. America's import, and by Jack in the Box. Try Jack's Spicy Chicken Club combo at Jack in the Box with fries and a drink while it lasts. 4th inning, a 1-1 tie. Daniel Murphy, David Wright, and Lucas Duda in that order against Dan Haren. Daniel Murphy leading the National League in base hits with 154. That also makes him number 1 as the left-hand hitter in the league. And he looks at ball 1. Murphy is from Jacksonville, Florida, 6'1", 210. Went to the University of Jacksonville, and a very good hitter on the road, as we explained, hitting .327 on the road. And the next one is low. 2-0 the count to Murph. Along with his hits, he has 34 doubles. He has stolen third base 4 times. The 2-0 pitch on the way, foul back. And he's had 23 hits in the month of August. So Murphy, one of the leaders on the club, fly to left field on the heels of Granderson's home run in the 1st inning. Haren ready, and his 2-1 pitch is slap foul down the left field line out of play. 2-2 the count to Daniel Murphy. His mom Sharon, whom he calls Mama Murph, and her husband Tom, has watched his career all the way everywhere he has played. His father is a school teacher. His brother is also a pretty good player, and they're always talking swings. 2-2 pitch coming up. Murphy swings, fouls that one away. Murphy was fortunate. The Mets vice president Tony Bernazard went to see a ball game in the minor league to watch his son Anthony play, and the guy who really caught his eye was Daniel Murphy, who fouls another one off. 2 balls and 2 strikes the count. A couple of years ago, they showed Murphy a videotape of Carlos Delgado hitting a home run. 2-2 pitch ground away. But not only did Delgado hit a home run, the camera stayed on him. He went into the dugout, immediately took out a notebook and wrote down exactly what happened during that at bat. And Murphy saw that videotape and thought, hey, that's a pretty good idea. So that's what he's been doing. 2-2 pitch on the way. And Murph swings and down he goes. So for Dan Herron, he struck out the side in the third inning. He has 4 strikeouts consecutively now. Good pitch, the bottom dropped out. And the batter now, David Wright, who flied to left field. Wright has always been a big gun for the New York Mets. But as we mentioned earlier this year, he's struggling with only 8 home runs and the fact that he is grounded into 19 double plays. And he takes a strike. 0-1. David Wright out of Norfolk, Virginia. He'll be 32 in December. He takes a pitch off the plate. Back in 2005 is when he really caught the imagination of the fans in New York. 1-1 fouled away. 27 home runs, 102 RBIs, then 28 home runs, 116, then 30 home runs, then 33 home runs, and all of a sudden he was king of the city. The 1-2 pitch away, 2 balls and 2 strikes. He grew up with B.J. Upton of the Atlanta Braves in Virginia. 2-2 pitch taken for ball 3. They were both about 10 years old. They played in AAU ball. Then we played 2 years of high school together. And hitting behind right, Lucas Duda. 3-2 pitch on the way. Swung on, ground ball wide of third, off the glove of Turner, and he can't recover. So one third baseman grounds it to the other. Turner can't make it. That will be an error. And the batter will be Duda with a runner aboard. Routine play for Turner. He'll make that 99 times out of 100, which is why perhaps he was a little casual and it just went off the glove. So 1 out, a runner at first, and here is Duda. Lucas Duda. 23 home runs, so you have to really be careful with him. Dodgers figure he pulls everything as far as the infield is concerned. They stack up the right side, and Duda takes low, ball 1, 1-0. So the big first baseman has become more of an aggressive hitter, and it's really paid off for him. He's born in Riverside, went to USC. The 1-0 pitch pulled foul outside of first behind Tommy Goodwin, and a 1 ball 1 strike count. Duda was chosen in the 7th round out of USC, and I guess he'll need another bat. He was the minor league player of the year for the Mets 4 years ago. 2 years ago he came up and hit 15 home runs. Last year he hit 15 home runs, and right now he has 23 home runs. Before 2010, Duda held his hands high in the air and right by his ear, and the hands were more shoulder level, and now he doesn't stand up quite as upright, bent slightly at the waist and knees, and all of that has helped him. And Duda said he used to be strictly a pull hitter, and he broke his wrist, and yet that worked out to compensate for the injury. He hits a little dribbler up along first. It is a fair ball. They get a force play at second, and that's the inning. Terry Collins will come out, and let's see now if we will have an official review or not. The ball going up along first base was a borderline play at first, and C.B. Buckner was on the line, and the thumbs go up, meaning you got a shot. So they might be reviewing the ground ball to first, not just the throw down to second. So an official review. All right. So the umpires put their heads together. Here's a look at the play again. Right on the line. Backhanded by Gonzalez, who was standing on the bag, and the throw down apparently called a double play to end the inning. So a pretty good look at it by Dale Scott, the second base umpire, who brings him up. So right now we're waiting to see, is it a double play or is the inning continue? So as we do with official reviews, we wait. We wait for New York. So do the umpire. We have a 1-1 tie here. We're in the fourth inning. Murphy struck out. Wright reached on an error. And then Duda hit the ground ball to Gonzalez, who was on the bag, and threw down to second. And that's when the Mets decided they were going to appeal and have it reviewed. Arrubarena getting the tag down, or did he miss the leg? That's the question. It looked like his first stab was at the dirt and not the leg of David Wright. Matt Kemp is in on the infield because he figured the inning is over, so he's standing around with D. Gordon and David Wright. The umpire's still waiting. Here it is again. Now watch the glove and look at the right leg. See if he gets a leg of the dirt. Looks like you're just touching the dirt, and by the time he brought the glove up, Wright's foot was on the bag. But we're not close to it. Certainly Dale Scott, the second base umpire, had a great look at the play. And now here it is. Out. All right, double play. 3-6. Wright is erased. No score. It's 1-1. Bottom of the third. We'll be right back. Of Larry King at bat with Eric Karros. Join us for a sit down with Eric as he talks about how he felt to be drafted by Los Angeles. Don't miss this new episode of Larry King at bat with Eric Karros. That'll be Sunday at 5 on Sportsnet LA.
First baseman number 23, Adrian Gonzalez.
Adrian Gonzalez, then Matt Kemp and Scott Van Slyke in that order. Dan Herron made 18 pitches, so he's up to 56. Neese has made 38. And here we go into the bottom of the fourth. Foul ball, 0-1. The Mets have had a very bad thing happen once they get to about the 8th inning. If the game is tied, if Terry's club is tied after 8, they are 5-16. Line drive, backhanded easily by Wilmer Flores, and that'll do it for Gonzalez. One away. Remember, the Giants pounded Washington. I guess that figured with the Nationals having won 10 straight. They were going to have to be brought back to earth. And the Giants, with Tim Hudson, did just that. There were also home runs, I know, from Joe Panik. Buster Posey also hit one. Tim Hudson, by the way, lifetime against Washington is 18-5. That includes one win against Montreal before the move. A one-hopper, short hop juggled, recovered by Flores to throw Metcalf out. Fine play by the Mets shortstop, Wilmer Flores. That ball was crushed. So quickly, 2 out. Take another look. That thing was hit, and Flores blocked it, recovered, got him. You see a ball hit like that, and you shudder to remember what it was like when they played on AstroTurf. That thing ate him up, but he kept the ball in front of him. It was still playable, and he had the arm to get him. Good play for Wilmer Flores. And now Scott Van Slyke. That's a strike. 0-1. Nice works quickly. He comes right back. 1 ball and 1 strike. Jonathan Nice was about 3 years ago sitting in the dressing room talking to Carlos Beltran about his nose. The 1-1 pitch, low ball 2-1. And Carlos Beltran said, "You ought to have your nose fixed." So he said, "Well, okay, if you think I should." They went to see doctors, etc. Check swing foul. And he had the rhinoplasty procedure. And the thing they never really thought about, but it improved his breathing considerably. So it helps him working out, helps him pitching as far as breathing is concerned. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Looked like a change, fooling Van Slyke, and he strikes out. So the Dodgers go 1-2-3, and at the end of 4, a 1-1 tie. Dodger Stadium. You can help by texting CURE 50555. Make a $10 donation or visit thinkcure.org and help find a cure for cancer. Think Cure Weekend. It is here. 1-1 tie in the 5th inning. Travis d'Arnaud, the lad from Lakewood, will start it all. Then Den Decker and Lagares against Dan Herron. Travis from Lakewood went to Lakewood High School, then committed to Pepperdine. So you have Dan Herron, who went to Pepperdine. Travis was gonna go, and instead signed on with the Mets. 2-0 the count. When Herron was at Pepperdine, he pitched, but he was really a big hitter on campus. 3-0. Travis' brother Chase played third base for Pepperdine, then turned pro after the Pirates picked him in the draft. That's in there. Chase has had a couple of cups of coffee, as they call it, with the Pirates, but he's still in the minors, and Travis is here. 3-1. And a fly ball, it's playable. Bench light. One down in the fifth inning, and Matt Den Decker coming up.
Left fielder number 6, Matt Den Decker.
We were telling you the story about Den Decker, who was left in the men's room when the team bus left. And as he said, I sure was shocked, then panicked. Then I got a call, and the guys were saying, are you still back there at the rest stop? And he said, yeah, you guys forgot me. So one of the buses turned around and picked him up. Of course, the other thing that Matt will always remember, he was hanging out in Central Park, and a horse was galloping toward them with a carriage in tow. They realized there was no driver in the carriage. It was a runaway horse coming right at them. If you've ever been to Central Park in New York, it's a very romantic trip to get in the carriage and the horse takes you through the park. But it scared him to death. 1-2 the count to Matt Den Decker. We're in the fifth with one out. We have a 1-1 tie. You have two good control pitchers in the game tonight, and so far they're on their game. That strike three call, but down goes Ben Decker, and Juan Lagares will be coming up. 5 strikeouts for Dan Herron. Take another look. Ben Decker right on the plate and took a good fastball. So Juan Lagares, right-hand batter, checking in. Slow breaking ball for a strike. Juan is from the Dominican. 25 years old, 6'1", 175. Free agent signed by the Mets, and pulls one foul down the line. Juan Lagares came in hitting .269, 2 home runs, 34 runs batted in. He is not a power hitter. 1 year in the low minors, he had 7 home runs. This time he pokes one away and just drives it into right field. Nice bit of hitting. Lagares stole 21 bases in the minor leagues. So we'll see if they're thinking about running him at all as Wilmer Flores comes up. Herron has given up 1 run and 3 hits. Flores struck out in the 3rd inning. Flores made a good play on that ball hit by Matt Kemp. Two out in the 5th, a 1-1 tie. Wilmer Flores drove in 8 runs in his first 5 games in the big leagues. He joined Yasiel Puig as 2 of only 4 active players that have had at least 8 RBIs in 5 games. Will Middlebrooks of Boston at 9. Josh Phegley of the White Sox at 8. 0-1. And a high fly ball to deep left. Back goes Van Slyke to the track at the wall. Boy, you talk about too close for comfort, but Van Slyke tracked it down. No runs, 1 hit, a long, loud out. And at the end of 4.5, a 1-1 tie. Be one of the first 50,000 fans at Dodger Stadium. Tuesday, September 2nd, the Dodgers play the red-hot Washington Nationals, and you'll receive a Magic Johnson no-look pass bobblehead. Compliments of Coca-Cola. For tickets, visit Dodgers.com/bobblehead. Dan Haren is doing a high wire act. He's only allowed one run. It was a home run, but he's also had only 3 ground balls, and Dan 7 fly balls, and the last one pinned Van Slyke up against the left field wall. First pitch to Justin Turner off the plate, ball 1, 1-0. Turner shifting into high gear from 225 to 364, and a strike, 1 ball and 1 strike. Jonathan Nice, you'll get a 4-seam fastball, a 2-seamer that sings, a cutter, a curveball, a splitter, and a circle change. So he brings a lot of pitches to the dance. Changes grip for the changeup, and it still gives him a lot of sink. 1-2. And that's going to be hit into center, slightly left center, and it's going to go to the wall. Lagares unable to cut it off, and Justin's into second base with a double, his 15th of the year. So 15 doubles, a triple, and 4 home runs for Justin Turner. And he stroked it. Thought Lagares might cut it off, but he couldn't get over there. The ball was hit hard enough to get by him. So a leadoff double, and now you have Ellis, Arrubarena, and Haren trying to pick him up. One run, 3 hits for each side. Ellis walked in the 3rd inning, tries to bunt, fouls it back. The walk that Ellis received is the only walk in the game. So you have 2 basically control pitchers in Nice and Haren. Haren, of course, pays the price, being around the plate all the time. He's given up 25 home runs. Jonathan Nice has allowed 14 home runs. 0-1 to count. Off speed, roll down to short, taking third easily is Turner, and the out to first. So the Dodgers have a tiebreaker at third with 1 out. Arisbel Arrubarena, who singled to left field and scored the Dodger run in the 3rd inning, coming up. Arrubarena hitting .304, 3 RBI. Giants won their game. They beat Washington 10-3. That's ball 1. Darno, good save on his knees. 1 ball and no strikes. So for the moment, the Dodger lead is 3. It'll either go back to 3.5 if they win, or drop to 2.5 if they lose. Big night for Mattingly and company. The 1-0 pitch on the way. Ball 2. Dan Haren waiting on deck. They talk about Jonathan Nice, saying he pitches to contact, especially early in the count. And that's really what he has learned to do. Slow breaking ball for a strike. Jonathan Nice, when you look at his record, 39 walks and 102 strikeouts. Two balls and 1 strike to Arrubarena. Turner down the line from third. Breaking ball, ball 3. Nice save by Darno. Otherwise, that could easily have been a wild pitch. Come to think of it, we'll check. And Nice has 3 wild pitches this year. Bundy saying something to Turner. No doubt be ready. 3-1. And ball 4. They might very well have pitched around Arrubarena, hoping to take care of Dan Herron, who is now listening to Lorenzo Bundy as to what they want him to do. Dodgers first and third, 1 out, 1-1. Herron tried to bunt for a sacrifice, instead bunted into a double play, but they might very well ask him to bunt again. I know there's 1 out, but if they ask him to bunt and he gets it down, Turner would probably stay at third, but the inning would be alive and they'd avoid the double play. So let's see. The infield's back. He tries to bunt and fouls it. 0-1. So Herron up there trying to get Arrubarena to second base. 0-1 to Dan. Bunting, squeezing. Here comes Turner, and he's going to run right into a tag. The Mets messing up, running into the plate, and finally tag him out. Boy, not only was, well, I'm tired of saying it, not only was that a butcher of a double play, but they are actually running Turner towards home plate. That's the worst thing you can do in a rundown, but they made the play eventually, and Duda making the tag. Take another look. Here comes Turner on the squeeze. It's missed at the plate. So now Darno running him back towards third. That's okay. But now Wright is running him to home plate, which is where he wanted to go in the first place, and Duda tags him out. Now the next one to Herron. 1 ball and 2 strikes. So Dan's had a tough night with the bat. He's bunted into a double play, and he has missed a squeeze. The 1-2 pitch, low and away. 2-2. Down the line comes Arrubarena, and the 2-2 pitch on the way. Fastball low, ball 3. And ground ball into right center, wouldn't you know? After all the bunts, they let him swing away with 2 strikes, and he singles in Arrubarena, and the Dodgers lead 2-1. So Arrubarena, who finally reached third on that rundown with Turner, is cashed in. So 2 runs, 4 hits for the Dodgers, 1 run, 3 hits for the Mets. And now Gordon, 1 for 2, comes up empty, 0-1. D is grounded to short, single to left. So Turner doubled, Ellis got him to third, Arrubarena walked. Herron misses the squeeze play. Turner's cut down, but it took the Mets so long to cut him down, and they were cutting him down in the wrong direction. That allowed Arrubarena to go all the way to third, so he's cashed in. So the big flaw was the inability of the Mets to do what you would expect a big league team to do, make a decent rundown. 1 ball and 1 strike. 2 runs, 4 hits for the Dodgers, 1 run, 3 hits for the Mets. That's up the middle. Herron will stop at second, and Gordon now is 2 for 3. D had 1 hit last night, and there'll be a little meeting at the mound now because Nice in some trouble. So Yasiel Puig hit back to the box, fly to center, 0 for 2. His average slowly but surely going down to 308. He's hungry. He's been a little impatient. He's really been swinging at the pitcher's pitch. So we'll see what he does now. With 2 base hits by Herron, Danny Warthen has finished his instructions, and Danny, who of course was with the Dodgers for a while, now goes back into the Mets dugout. Let's see if Puig goes after the first or second pitch. In the last 2 games plus tonight, he's been retired 5 times on either the first or second pitch. Yep, he's at it again. Only it's booted by Flores, and the bases are loaded. So the Mets did a very poor job in the rundown. Now the error charged to Flores, and the bases are loaded. And Adrian Gonzalez coming up. So Flores, they made a couple of good plays, kicks the ground ball, and then falls down to really complicate matters. The bases loaded with 2 out. Yes, baseball can be a humbling game. And here's Adrian Gonzalez. So the Dodgers lead 2-1, looking for kind of a knockout blow now. Adrian is 0 for 2, struck out and lined out. Fastball low, good save by Darno. 1 ball and no strikes. Remember how poorly the Dodgers have been with the bases loaded. The team average 172. Gonzalez has 4 grand slams, and that's ball 2. So Nice was going along reasonably well, and then Turner doubled. Ellis grounded out. He walked Arrubarena. Herron missed the squeeze, and Turner was cut down, but it took the Mets long enough to get Turner that Arrubarena went all the way to third, and then Herron swinging away singled him in. Now another base hit and an error, and that makes it 2-1 to Adrian Gonzalez. Adrian thought it was low. Adam Hamari is the plate umpire. Adam, another young umpire coming up out of the minor leagues. 2-1 pitch. Ground ball to first. Tricky hop, but Duda stayed with it. So the Dodgers, as usual, fold their tents and silently sneak into the night after the bases are loaded. But they do leave the field for the moment, leading 2-1. the Boston Braves in Ebbets Field, Brooklyn. You think a steal of home is exciting? How about the bases loaded and a triple steal? Well, that's what happened. Jackie Robinson was at third, Gene Hermansky, the left fielder, was at second, and the shortstop Pee Wee Reese at first. And Robbie took off, and so did Hermansky. And when the dust settled, Robinson had stolen home, Hermansky had stolen third, and Reese had stolen second. But as they say on Broadway, how'd they come out? Final score, Boston 4, Dodgers 3. Let's go back to this one. Two to one in favor of the Dodgers. Jackie Robinson, 42. I forget Hermansky's number. Pee Wee was number 1. Yep, 42, worn proudly in great respect. Fly ball down the left field line, a trio chasing it, and it's going to be a sliding effort, but to no avail by Scott Van Slyke. So Scotty, an all-out try. Jonathan Neese will come back. He struck out in the third inning. Van Slyke, remember, had to go right up against the wall for that long fly ball the previous inning. Now we see his all-out hustle. Couldn't hit it. All right. Van Slyke back in position. 1 ball and 1 strike. Foul ball, 1-2. The Mets got a home run before the chairs were warm. Curtis Granderson came up and led off the game with a home run. 7th time he's done it this year, and the 28th time that he has done it in his career. And that's a strike, and that'll do it for Neese. The top hitting pitcher as far as runs batted in are concerned for this year anyway, it would be the Giants' Madison Bumgarner. He has 13 runs batted in. Travis Wood has 9. Dan Herron has 5. Jonathan Neese 4. So here is Granderson, homered and struck out. Ball 1. A strike as it ran in on his hands. Herron has allowed the home run by Granderson and just 2 other hits. 2 balls and 1 strike. Granderson homered on a 2-0 pitch. He has 2 home runs on a 2-0 count, and he's hitting .474 on 2-0. Take another look. Granderson opening up the game, and before you knew it, it was hit into the bullpen, and it was 1-0 Mets. High fly ball into shallow center. Coming in for it is Puig. 2-handed catch. 2 down. And the batter will be Daniel Murphy. In talking about Granderson and the count, if he's up there during this series 3-0, he usually gets the green light, and he is 5 for 7, hitting .714 with 2 home runs on the 3-0 count. So we'll file that away for reference. Ball 1. Daniel Murphy flied to left, struck out, 0 for 2. Breaking ball on the hand, little pop up, Ellis. So the Mets go quietly. They've had 1 hit since the home run and another base hit for a total of only 3, and the Dodgers lead 2-1. brought to you by Subway. Try this month's $6 featured footlong, the barbecued oven roasted chicken melt. Subway, eat fresh. And by your Southern California Mazda dealers. Moving right along, the Dodgers now leading 2-1. And it'll be Matt Kemp, Scott Van Slyke, and Justin Turner, bottom of the 6th inning. Dodgers with a double, a walk, messed up a squeeze, had 2 hits, and got a run in the 5th to break the tie. Matt's 0 for 2. Grounded to third and hard ground ball to short. No balls, 1 strike. 1-1. Dodgers shut down last night by Tyson Ross. Scrambled to pull it out on 4 hits and won 2-1. Comebacker. So Kemp goes 0 for 3. Matt, who was chewing up the Mets, has suddenly stopped dead against him and Jonathan Neese. That'll bring up Scott Van Slyke. Tomorrow night, Zach Greinke will be pitching against Jacob deGrom. An interesting note about the Mets pitchers as we look at deGrom. They set a modern-day record. They started the season 0 for 46. Then they extended the new record 0 for 64. Meanwhile, there's a base hit to right center. And Van Slyke will go to 2, and the throw is going to be close. He's in there. So Van Slyke doubles with 1 out. And Justin Turner will be coming up.
Number 10, Justin Turner.
Talking to the bullpen. We have a minute just to conclude the thought as we watch Van Slyke double. The Mets pitchers were 0 for 64. And then Jacob deGrom, who's going to pitch tomorrow night, got the first hit of the season. A single against the Yankees in the middle of May. The previous record held by the old St. Louis Browns of 1914, 0 for 45. Boy, that is a drought, isn't it, for pitchers or anybody? 0 for 64. So 1 out, Van Slyke at second. Here's Turner, grounded out, double, cut down. And he lines 1 inches from the glove of Murphy, and over to third goes Van Slyke. So Turner 2 for 3 against his old club. Dodgers at first and third, and the batter with 1 out will be A.J. Ellis. So Turner, who gets a lot of hits to right field, but the big surprise last night was that home run he hit to left. That's the grown-ups' answer to what the babies chew on. A.J. Ellis walked, grounded to short, 0 for 1. 2-1 favor the Dodgers, trying to add to it. And ball 1. In the Dodger bullpen, Jamie Wright begins to loosen up so that they can get down there. They're thinking of hitting for Dan Herron. 1 ball and no strikes. Ground ball to second, backhanded, the feed to short, the throw to first, and just like that, that's that. Ellis bangs into the double play, so the Dodgers get a double and a single, but come up empty, and at the end of 6, 2-1 Dodgers. To look ahead now at the Dodgers schedule, and the Mets will be here tomorrow night at 6. That'll be DeGrom going up against Zach Greinke, and then Sunday at 1 p.m. the Mets, and after that the Dodgers go out on the road. As far as Sunday is concerned, Kevin Correa is announced as the starter, and Bartolo Colon will be on the mound for New York. Right now, Dan Haren, who almost went out with a pinch hitter, takes his 2-1 lead into the 7th inning. Jamie Wright throwing behind him, and now Wright has sat down, and Brandon League gets up and takes his place. David Wright flied to left, reached on an error, then Lucas Duda flied to center, hit into a double play, and then Travis d'Arnaud has singled and flied to left. So Wright 0 for 2. And here we go in the 7th. High fly ball, but it's playable, and it's a room service fly ball to Matt Kemp. 1 away. Interesting, where Jonathan Neese has had 13 ground balls, Dan Haren gave up 3 fly balls in the first inning. So he's given up 7 fly balls at a quick glance, plus of course the home run by Granderson. Here's Duda, fly to center, hit into the double play that was disputed and went the Dodger way. They load up the right side, and strike 1 to Lucas. Two runs, 7 hits for the Dodgers, 1 run, 3 hits for the Mets. 0-2. So you get the feeling that no matter what, this would be the last inning for Dan Haren. He's made 85 pitches so far. 1-2. Because Duda with 23 home runs, capable of getting the Mets even with 1 swing. One ball, 2 strikes. And that's popped up all alone on the left side. Arrubarena has plenty of time. So for the Mets, they had the home run with Granderson leading off. They had a leadoff single by d'Arnaud in the 2nd inning, and they've had a 2-out single by Lagares, and that's it. 1 run, 3 hits. d'Arnaud singled, flied to left, hitting .226. The Mets and Dodgers were even in home runs. Each team had hit 94, and then Granderson led off with a home run to give the Mets 95. Ground ball to short. Arrubarena. Boy, he took some time and got away with it. Wow. So at the end of 6.5 innings, Dodgers 2, Mets 1. First pitch right away to Arozarena, swung on and missed, and we're in the bottom of the 7th inning. So after that tough 2-1 game last night, come back with another tough one. Arozarena singled, walked, and scored on the base hit by Herron. Arozarena on a walk went from first to third while they had Turner in the rundown between third and home, and that's a difference in the game. If the Mets had done the rundown better and quicker, the Dodgers would not have the run. So Arozarena is 1 for 1. He has scored both Dodger runs. And down he goes. So we have one out. Darwin Barney is coming out of the Dodger dugout. We knew that Herron was going to be done at the end of 7, and Barney will now come up and bat for Herron. Barney, a Gold Glove, can play second base or short. Barney hitting .233. However, since he came over to the Dodgers, he's hitting .273. He brought 2 home runs with him. Obviously, they were hit in Chicago at Wrigley Field. So 2-1 Dodgers, bottom of the 7th. First ball swinging. He drives it down the line. It's hooking and going foul. So he almost did it. No balls and 1 strike to count. Barney's high in home runs, and as you might expect, playing for the Cubs. Back-to-back years, 2012 and 13, he had 7 home runs. So Brandon Lee is up again in the Dodger bullpen. So Herron made 89 pitches and goes out leading 2-1. Oh, 2 the count to Darwin Barney out of Portland, Oregon. Lives in Beaverton, Oregon. Won a Gold Glove in 2012. 1-2. Barney is 28 years old. He'll be 29 in November. 5'10", about 180. Best year with the bat, 2011. He hit .278. 2-2 the count. Barney's father and his brother are each dentists. Foul back. Meanwhile, Mark McGwire is talking to Yasiel Puig, probably telling him, hey, don't be in such a hurry to hit the ball. Yasiel's been walking up there and swinging 6 times now in either the first or second pitch. Barney, meanwhile, checks the swing and down he goes. And we have 2 out in the 7th inning. Barney with that smile telling you he thinks it was a terrible call. So now the leadoff man, D. Gordon, single to left to drive in Arozarena, and then singled in the 5th inning. Tries to bunt, drags it foul. 0-1. Four strikeouts for Jonathan Neese. When the Mets come up in the 8th inning, it'll be Matt Dandecker, Juan Lagares, and Wilmer Flores, the shortstop. Boy, a big swing and a miss, huh? 0-2. No balls, 2 strikes. Time. It should be duly noted, especially in this game, Dan Harron's base hit scored the run that has put the Dodgers in front 2-1. And that means the Mets have allowed 34 hits to the opposing pitchers. That's third most in Major Leagues. Off speed, that's whacked to right, and the rabbit is loose. Well, let's see how far he goes. Granderson picks it up. He is on his way to a stand-up triple. So D. Gordon comes up with his 11th triple. He has 18 doubles and 2 home runs. Granderson was playing so far over that by the time Curtis got the ball, Gordon was standing up at third base. So it comes with 2 out. And let's see what happens with Yasiel Puig. Now remember, he has made out on either the first or second pitch in 6 at-bats. 0-1. Average at 307. 1 ball and 1 strike. Well, McGuire, you saw Mark talking to him. I'm sure part of it was, don't just go up there and swing. Go up there and get your pitch. Off speed. Changeup. 1-2. Rafael Montero and Carlos Torres throwing in the bullpen for the Mets. Yasiel still fighting. A little applause from McGuire. That was a good pitch to take a rip at. 1-2. No swing. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Runner at third, 2 out. Bottom of the 7th, Dodgers lead 2-1. Way outside with that fastball. Well, McGuire is very happy now, the fact that Puig has gotten all the way into the count. No matter what happens, base hit or walk or out, he's gotten deep into the count. And he takes ball 4. All right, Mark makes the note. And the batter will be Adrian Gonzalez. That is the 3rd walk given up by Jonathan. 1st and 3rd, 2 out. Among other things now, the Mets want to make sure, what do we do if Puig starts to go to second? With a rabbit at third, the Dodgers might try the double steal. The only problem, you have a left-hand hitter up, and home plate is wide open as far as Gordon is concerned. And you have to look ahead. Oh and 1. 100 pitches now for Jonathan Nice, and he's backed up, as we mentioned. A couple of right-handers in the bullpen. Puig and Gordon at the corners. 2 out. Fouled away. So Gonzalez now in the hole. No balls and 2 strikes. Adrian Gonzalez was 0 for 5 coming into the game against Nice. He's 0 for 3 tonight, so that gives him 0 for 8 against the left-hander. Gonzalez came into the game hitting only 192 against left-hand pitching anyway. 0-2. Time. So Darno out to talk to his pitcher. To repeat, Den Decker, Lagara, Nice due to bat 4th. Oh and 2. And that's hit to short. The long throw to first by Flores in the dirt, throws it away. The run brought in by Gordon. Puig grounding third, and he will hold. So Wilmer Flores having a tough night at shortstop. And the Dodgers get a gift and lead 3-1. So Gordon brings it in. Gonzalez winds up at second base. Error all the way. Puig winds up at third. And Gordon comes home. So a 2-out gift. And the Dodgers will take it happily. Just a bad throw all the way. Terry Collins now making his way out to the mound. Flores, who struggled and fell down on one ground ball, now throws one away. So it's a shortstop nightmare. And the Dodgers take advantage. Jonathan Neese, who pitched so well, goes out, however, and it's now instead of 2-1, 3-1, and we'll be right back. In 2 pitches, he worked 6 2/3, gave up 3 runs, 2 earned, but actually poor defensive play. It was a bad rundown that cost him a big run in the 5th inning, and now the error by Wilmer Flores, a kid from Venezuela, costs yet another. And with runners at second, third, also his responsibility. They give the ball to Carlos Torres. He's from Santa Cruz, but lives in Manhattan, Kansas. He was originally drafted out of Kansas State by the Chicago White Sox. Torres pitched for the White Sox in 09, 10, then the Rockies, and now the Mets. First pitch, check swing, no swing. Matt Kemp 0 for 3. Torres basically fastball, curve, cutter, and a changeup. He's 6'1", 190. On the hands, driven to the gap in left center, and that's going to go to the wall. 2 runs will score. Dodgers now lead 5-1 on a double by Matt Kemp, and of course that really is a capper for Jonathan Neese. There are some nights where you just can't believe what happens in a game. And for the kid shortstop, Wilmer Flores, a nightmare, not to mention what it's going to do to the sleeping habits of Jonathan Neese. So Matt Kemp got that ball up and inside part of the plate and doubles to left field. He drives in 2, and of course that gives the Dodgers now a very comfortable 4-run lead. Van Slyke fouls it away. Remember, the Mets coming in here had only scored 102 runs since the All-Star break. That's last in the league. So for Terry Collins, it's a tough night. They're not hitting. Their actual defensive play has been very poor, and they're down 5-1. It's not as if the Dodgers are knocking them lopsided with base hits. For Flores, it hurts. For Nice, it's a crusher. I mean, the worst he should be would be 1-1. Bad rundown play, etc. And down goes Van Slyke. That's the third out. However, not before the Dodgers get a nice gift with a big ribbon on it. 3 runs as Puig showing his admiration for his teacher Mark McGwire when he got a walk. And one of the first 40,000 fans at Dodger Stadium Saturday, September 6th, and you'll receive your own pair of Dodger headphones, compliments of Lexus. That will be against the Arizona Diamondbacks. So for tickets, visit Dodgers.com/promotion. 8th inning, 5-1 Dodgers. Brandon League now will pick up for Dan Harron, who could pick up his 11th win. Dan came in 10-10. So for Brandon, in his 50th game, fine ERA 2.4. However, the thing that bothers Brandon, I'm sure, is the fact that the walks and the strikeouts are not what you would desire. He's been fighting that a little bit. 22 walks, 28 strikeouts, and they're backing him up with J.P. Howell in the pen. So Dan Decker, the left fielder, hitting good double play, struck out. Matt hitting just 182. And that's popped in the air down the left field line. A trio of Dodgers, and it's Van Slyke. Morena and Turner were also out there. So 1 down in the 8th inning. So for Jonathan Nice, he is charged with 5 runs, only 2 earned. And even one of those 2 was somewhat questionable. And the batter Juan Lagares grounded out, single to right. 1 for 2. Wilmer Flores on deck. Ball 1. that's in there for a strike. Jose Reyes, who sparkled at short for the Mets at one time, has long admired Legara's skills, so he had a lot of good things to say about Juan to the New York Mets. 2-1 the count. 6'1", 175. Not a power hitter. Runs well. Good left fielder. And ground ball through. So Lagares comes up with his second hit. He's 2 for 3. And the batter now, Wilmer Flores. The shortstop who has had a tough night. They all go through it, no matter who. Flores just turned 23. He's a big fella, bigger than most shortstops. He's 6'3" and 190. Oh, and 1. Kirk Neuenhuis, who has had 21 pinch hit appearances, and he's 7 for 21. Kirk is out on deck. Sliced foul down the line. 0-2 the count to young Wilmer Flores. Neuenhuis on deck is from Santa Monica. Left-hand batter to test Brandon Lee. And he whacks it on his horse's speed to flag it. And back to first gets Lagares. So a hard hit line drive by Wilmer Flores for an out. So a little meeting as to what they're going to do with Kirk Neuenhuis and J.P. Howell loosening up. Neuenhuis is a left-handed batter. And let's see now if Mattingly goes to Howell. Yep. After that long out by Flores, the Dodgers dodged a bullet for sure. So they're going to bring in J.P. Howell, and we will pause for the moment, watch Lee walk off, and then we'll be right back. At bat on your favorite mobile phone or tablet. You'll get live look-ins, instant replays, scores, stats, audio, free MLB TV game of the day, and so much more. So download on the App Store or visit Dodgers.com today. Well, the Dodgers bring in J.P. Howell. Neuenhuis goes back to the dugout, and the right-hand hitter Campbell coming up. Eric Campbell out of Norwich, Connecticut. Went to Boston College, and the Mets signed him in the 8th round back in 2008. He's a big fella. He's 6'3" and a good 220. Campbell batting .301 with Lagares at first. 2 out in the 8th inning. 5-1 Dodgers. And ball 1. Campbell had a go-ahead 3-run home run about a week ago in Chicago. Three home runs, 2 of them have put the Mets in the lead. And ball 2. One other thing about Campbell, he's batting .304 against left-handers. And he's done very well as a pinch hitter. 7 for 18. That would be a .389 batting average as a pinch hitter. 2-0. And 3-0. And on deck, Curtis Granderson. And of course, you remember what he did. He led off the game with a home run. So A.J. Ellis out to talk to J.P. Howell. Kenley Jansen up in the pen. A little early to see him, but he's up. Brandon Lee taking in the action after giving up a base hit and a long out that was almost an extra base hit, but it was caught by Puig. 3-0. And he walked him. For the Mets now, they get a runner to second base, and that is news. The only man who has gotten to second base tonight is the man coming up, Curtis Granderson, who got to second base running out his home run. So 2 on, 2 out, 5-1 Dodgers. Granderson followed by the hot hitter Daniel Murphy. But Granderson with 16 home runs can get you back in the game in a hurry. 2 on, 2 out. And ball 1. J.P. Howell this year has inherited 33 runners, and he's allowed 2 to score. So he inherited 1, and now he's put another on his own. That's a strike. (5-1) Dodgers, top of the 8th, 2 out, 2 on. Lagares at second, Campbell at first. In the dirt, gets away from Ellis, and the runners will move up to second and third. So a fan decides that he's more important than the game, and the fan leaned over and took the ball before A.J. Ellis could get there. Pitch in the dirt, went right between the legs of A.J. Hard to believe, but there are people. Now watch. I mean, this is a ball in play, and he thinks it's more important for him, and then he says, here, give it back, thanks a lot. Terry out to talk to Adam Hamari. It's going to be a pass ball. They feel that A.J. could have kept it around the plate. Second and third, 2 out, 5-1 Mets, 8th inning. on the corner. Strike two. Big battle here. Granderson, who has hit as many as 43 home runs for the Yankees, up there in a big spot. He has homered, struck out, and flied to center. So deuces are really wild here. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 out. Runners at second and third. In the dirt. Granderson is a big swinger. Because of that, he pays the price. He has struck out 115 times. He is the only man on the Mets club to have struck out 100 or more times, and yet Daniel Murphy, a left-hand hitter, on deck. 3-2. Big pitch. And got him. Granderson thinks it was ball 4. Amari said strike 3. So no runs, 1 hit, a walk, 2 left, a borderline pitch. One man thought it was ball 4, the other said strike 3, and we're going to the bottom of the 8th. 5-1 Dodgers. Hospital, City of Hope, and Children's Hospital Los Angeles do great research to treat and cure cancer. So please text CURE to 50555 to help think cure. Support their work, and don't forget to confirm your donation with your zip code. Bottom of the 8th inning, Dodgers holding on to a 5-1 lead. Turner, Ellis, and Arrubarena coming up. J.P. Howell did a little high wire act, but he escaped. Rafael Montero coming in now to pick up. Against J.P. Howell, it would be interesting. Remember, the count went 3-2. Opponents are hitting 192. Granderson was another 3-2 victim on a very questionable pitch. Turner drives one to right, slicing down the corner and going foul. Granderson over to take a look. Rafael Montero, he's from the Dominican, right near the Haiti border. Didn't play much baseball. He's an even 6'1", 170, 23 years old. Fastball for a strike. He was signed by the Mets in 2011, and here he is. So he moved quickly and apparently pitched very well. 0-2. Breaking ball. Montero moved to Santo Domingo, several hours from his hometown, when he decided to take baseball seriously, and as a result, the top Dominican free agents, they picked a kid 16 years old, and the Mets were able to get him at 20. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Basically, 4-seam fastball, slider, and a changeup. He's had troubles, they say, learning the English language. Fastball at 94. 3-2 the count. Fastball missed. So Turner, with a walk, a single, and a double, leads off the 8th with the walk. And the batter will be A.J. Ellis, who has walked, rounded to short, hit into a double play. Five runs, 9 hits, 1 error for the Dodgers. 1 run, 4 hits, 2 errors for the Mets. The errors were one thing. A bad rundown play was a huge play. It allowed Arrubarena, who was at first, to get all the way to third on a busted squeeze, and then Herron got a base hit. Sliced foul down the line. That'll be back in the crowd. Jamie Wright is up again in the Dodger bullpen. He was up early behind Herron. Then Lee came in, followed by Howell. So we'll see what happens when they get down to the pitcher spot. Ellis at the plate, Arrubarena on deck, and then the pitcher. 1-1. That's a strike. Dodgers enjoying a 4-run lead right now. One ball and 2 strikes. There goes the runner. The pitch inside. The throw on a bounce gets out into center field, but by the time Turner realizes it, it's too late. So Turner, having a big night, continues. He steals his 5th base. He is 5-0. He is hitting 6 straight, and on that bounce, he's into second base easily. The shortstop, Flores, did a little decoy as well. He made Turner think that he had caught the overthrow behind second base, or at least he tried to. Fouled away. The paid attendance tonight, Friday night fireworks, 44,374. So the Dodgers getting very close. 47,000 gets them up to 995. So they will go over the 3 million mark in attendance tomorrow night. Three and 2 with a runner at second and nobody out. Slider, and that's lined into right field. Base hit. Over to get it is Granderson. AJ on his way to second. He's in there with a double. Justin Turner scores, and the Dodgers lead 6-1. So A.J. Ellis drives one into the right field corner, and the Dodgers pick up another. And Arozarena will be coming up. Granderson trying to run it down, succeeded, but not much else he could do except make a good strong throw into second base. So Montero has been touched up for a walk, stolen base, and now a run. And Arozarena will be coming up. Andre Ethier is out on deck as Turner visits with Dale Scott, the second base umpire. Arisbel Arozarena single to left, scored a run, walked, scored a run, and struck out. So Andre Ethier waiting on deck, and Arozarena trying to extend the inning. Nobody out. It'll be Murphy, Wright, and Duda when New York bats in the ninth inning. And ball one. Arozarena 1 for 2. Scored 2 runs. That's off the plate, 2-0. So young Montero gave up a walk, stolen base, a double, and a run. And ball 3. Andre Ethier coming up is 5 for 19 with 7 runs batted in. A.J. Ellis backing away from second base. 3 balls, no strikes in there. 3-1. Arozarena hitting .292. Tomorrow night, Zach Greinke and Jacob deGrom. Fastball. And a good one at 93. 3-2 the count. The Mets were very impressed when they first saw him. Everything about him exuded confidence and a very easy, simple, uncomplicated delivery, and very good stuff. 3-2. Fastball got him. So Arozarena strikes out a second time. That's the first out in the inning. First strikeout for Montero. And now Andre Ethier will be coming up, but Terry Collins is coming up first. So Terry did not send Danny Warthen, his pitching coach, out to the mound. Instead, he'll make the change himself. Dana Eveland will be coming in to pitch to Andre Ethier, and we'll be right back. They have runner at second base in A.J. Ellis. Pinch hitter Andre Ethier will be coming up against Dana Evelyn. He was born in Olympia, Washington, but he lives in Palmdale. He went to Hill Junior College in Texas, and he was originally signed by the Brewers in 2002. He's big, 6'1", 235 pounds. Started in 2003, came up to the Brewers in 06, came up to the A's in 08, then to the Blue Jays, then to the Pirates. He was with the Dodgers very briefly, 5 games in 2011, then to Baltimore, and finally to New York. That's quite an itinerary. Interesting thing about Dana as he pitches to Andre Ethier, Evelyn has a tattoo that stretches from one shoulder all the way across to the other. Ball 1. It's a colorful rendition of an angel on one side and a devil on the other. It's a yin-yang type representation of Evelyn's ability to keep his emotions in check. 1 ball and no strikes. And ball 2. Evelyn 1-1, ERA of 3, 26 games. Andre ahead in the count now, 2 balls and no strikes. And ball 3. So let's see about Evelyn and his control. He had walked 5 and struck out 21. Right now behind 3-0 to Ethier. On deck, G. Gordon. Montero, while he was in there, made 19 pitches. And a strike, 3-1. Dodgers used Darwin Barney earlier. Darwin struck out. 3-1 count to Ethier. Fastball hit hard off the glove of David Wright into left field, and runners at first and third. The ball was hit hard, but it was right at David Wright. You kind of expect a big leaguer to make the play, even though the ball admittedly was hit hard, and he was right there in position. So we'll assume it's an error, and it should be. So the Dodgers get another break, and that is the 3rd error committed by the Mets. Over to third went Ellis. Bad night for the Mets. 6 runs, 10 hits for the Dodgers, 1 run, 4 hits, and 3 errors by New York. So here's Gordon, first and third, 1 out, a run in. Gordon grounded to short, single to left, single to center, triple to right. 0-1. Though apparently Gordon now has his hands where he wants them to be. When he was struggling, he got a tendency of raising his hands too high, and after studying a lot of video, he's tried to drop them down a little bit, and it's certainly paid off. 0-1. Good breaking ball. No balls and 2 strikes. Interesting. The A's sent Dan Harron and Connor Robertson to the Diamondbacks, and they acquired Evelyn. And little pop foul coming back. Darno tries to slide and catch it. Can't make it. Still 0-2. Travis d'Arnaud going right on his knees and right into the netting, hoping, but couldn't make the play. 0-2 to count. You got a lot of different pitches from Evelyn. Big breaking ball foul back. I think Gordon was fortunate to get a little bit of that. It had such a break to it. Fastball, curveball, slider, and a change. Evelyn changed his delivery. He used to bring his hands high up over his head. Now he gets them to about the bill of the cap. Used to get up there almost like Kershaw. And that's going to be thumbed to center. Here comes Lagares. And the runners will hold as Juan throws a one-hopper to the plate. So Gordon, fly ball to center. Now Yasiel
number
Puig.
66, Yasiel Puig.
Puig is 0 for 3. Hit back to the box, flied to center, reached on the error, and then, if you were with us in the 7th inning, after listening to Mark McGwire, because he had fallen into the trap of swinging at the first pitch or the second pitch for his last 6 at bats. The Puig battled all the way 3-2 and got a walk. So now let's see what he does. First and third, 2 out. 6-1 Dodgers. And takes the strike. Puig came into the game hitting .266 against left-handers with 2 of his 13 home runs against lefties. No balls, 1 strike. Breaking ball fouled away. That was a pretty good slider. 0-2. Puig is a free swinger, and he has struck out 96 times. Matt Kemp has struck out 115. 0-2. Breaking ball, little pop foul, moving over either Duda and gets it away. Boy, that's a capper for the Mets. Whoa, what a night they've had. The good thing about the Mets, it's 12:39 in New York. A lot of people have turned off the game. They have just had a terrible night. The Duda draws an error. That's 4 errors for the Mets. Mr. Flores meet Mr. Duda. Mr. Duda, Mr. Wright. Mr. Wright, Mr. Flores. And ground ball to third. Nice pick by Wright. And that'll be that. So Puig goes 0 for 4 as he taps to third. Dodgers pick up an additional run. And at the end of 8, 6-1 Dodgers. ninth inning, and certainly the player of the game would have to be starter Dan Haren. He's going to pick up his 11th win. Dan, as usual, had excellent control, struck out a few people when he needed them. He wound up with 5 and had the key base hit to drive in a run by the diving Daniel Murphy to score a Arozarena and give the Dodgers their 2nd run. So then, after Haren won 7, League got 2 outs. Howell had to come in and get an out. And now Jamie Wright will try to wrap it up. Evelyn, while he was in there, made 14 pitches. Montero made 19. For Jamie Wright, he will face the heart of the Mets lineup. That means Daniel Murphy, David Wright, and Lucas Duda. Oh, there is a little angel on the screen that has the crowd wild. Oh, my goodness. She was probably about 4 years old, dancing to the music, and she gave this crowd of 44,374 something to cheer about. Daniel Murphy flied to left, struck out, fouled out, 0 for 3, and a strike. Murphy came in with 154 hits, leading the league, and he still has 154. Mets only have 4 hits. Ground ball through, so there's number 155. The Murphy, a ground ball single to left, and the batter will be David Wright against Jamie Wright. Just for the fun of it, let's look that up. Wright against Wright, see who's wrong. Jamie Wright has never faced David Wright. Six to 1 Dodgers, 9th inning. One ball and no strikes. Mets had a look at the game in the 8th inning. 2 on, 2 out, trailing at the time by 4. And Granderson, who had opened up the game with a home run, struck out. David Wright 0 for 3. Wright hitting .266 in the dirt. Janey's worked a lot. 48 games, and he has Daniel Murphy at first with nobody out here in the 9th. Three and 1. Jamie has 1 save. Strikeouts to walk, a little better than 2 to 1. And that's a hopper under the glove of Gordon. Stopping was Murphy, but now he keeps on going to third. I don't know if Gordon even touched that ball. It had a lot of topspin, and he just said, wow, put his glove down, and it's going to be a base hit, understandably. That thing was ripped. Watch Gordon. He puts the glove down, and it's gone. So first and third, nobody out. Mets trying to get off the floor, and Lucas Duda coming up. Duda, the big first baseman, has flied to center, hit into a double play, popped to short, and for good measure committed an error. So Jamie in a little trouble, but he has a 5-run lead. Nevertheless, Dodgers have Baez beginning to warm up. Kenley Jansen now gets up. So Baez, who was throwing alongside of Wright, now in the 9th inning, Dodgers leading by 5. Let's face it, they do not want to bring Kenley Jansen in. So Rick Honeycutt going out and try to help Jamie Wright. First and third, nobody out. 9th inning, 6-1 in favor of the Dodgers. They had to win to keep pace. Giants beat Washington 10-3. Plate umpire Adam Hamari out there. All right, Rick has said whatever he had to say. And Jamie all alone on the mound again. Lucas Duda, 23 home runs, 69 runs batted in. First and third, nobody out. Travis d'Arnaud, the catcher, is on deck. So you have Wright and Murphy, and a strike to Duda. How many times in his lifetime, and it's a young lifetime, has he heard Camptown races? Wow, that's got to drive him goofy. 0-1 the count. And a high fly ball to left, playable. Tagging up at third is Murphy. The catch by Van Slyke. Murph comes in to score, and it's 6-2 Dodgers. And Duda gets a sacrifice fly and the RBI to give him 70. So Wright gives up a couple of hits and a run. And with one down, Travis d'Arnaud, the catcher, single to center, fly to left, grounded to short. Has some sock, 11 home runs. d'Arnaud called up from Las Vegas the end of June. Ball one. d'Arnaud has been struggling this month, hitting less than .207, but he is 1 for 3 tonight. And a strike. 1 ball and 1 strike to Travis. Two and one. d'Arnaud is from Lakewood. Went to Lakewood High. Committed to Pepperdine. Jamie Wright trying to get him to the second out. d'Arnaud, 25 years old. And a roller to short. They get 1. They will get 2, and they will get the ball game with it. As d'Arnaud hits into the double play. 6-4-3 for the Dodgers to win it. 6 runs, 10 hits, and 1 error. 2 runs, 6 hits, and 4 errors for the Mets. The winner is Herron, and the loser is Nice. And it took Wright 13 paces to close up shop. A reminder tomorrow night, Zach Greinke for the Dodgers, Jacob deGrom for the Mets. We'll talk to you then. Till then, we wish you all a very pleasant good evening, everybody.